AITA for calling off my wedding 12 days before the ceremony after finding out why my fiancée was secretly staying at her ex's apartment and what I discovered when I went there alone. I'm 27, and I canceled my wedding less than 2 weeks before the ceremony, and now both our families are calling me cruel, but they don't know the full story, and honestly, I'm still trying to process it myself. My fiancée and I were together 4 years. Engaged for one. We weren't a toxic couple. No cheating history, no breakups, no screaming fights. We were the stable couple everyone assumed would last. We had a winter wedding booked in Colorado. Deposits paid, seating chart finalized, gifts already arriving at our apartment. About 4 months ago, her routine started shifting. She's a physical therapist at a rehab clinic, so late hours weren't unusual, but it slowly became constant. 3 or 4 nights a week, she'd come home after 10 p.m., drained, quiet, shower, sleep. At first, I chalked it up to wedding stress and workload, but then the small things started stacking up. She angled her phone away when texting, started stepping outside to take calls, smiled at messages but wouldn't say from who. Once I woke up at 2 a.m., and she was in the living room whispering on the phone. She said it was a co-worker breakdown. I trusted her, or maybe I just didn't want to imagine anything else 2 months before our wedding. Then, 12 days before the ceremony, everything cracked. Her phone was on the kitchen counter vibrating nonstop while she was in the shower. I glanced over thinking it might be work. The contact name was a woman's name, but the messages previewing on the screen were intimate and medical. I hate leaving you alone after treatment. Next chemo round starts Monday. I wish I could stay tonight. My chest dropped. When she came out, I asked calmly who it was. She froze, completely still, then sat down and started crying before I even finished the question. It wasn't a woman. It was her ex, the guy she dated seriously before me. He'd reached out months ago after being diagnosed with a severe autoimmune disease requiring aggressive treatment. No close family nearby, struggling to function day to day. She met him once for closure, saw how bad off he was, and started helping. Rides to treatment, cooking, cleaning. Then came the part she hid. Some nights she stayed so late she slept on his couch. She swore nothing physical happened. Said it was caretaking, not romance. Said she hid it because she knew I'd feel weird about her being alone with an ex so close to our wedding. I was already numb from the secrecy, but what broke me was when she said, if you were dying, I'd hope someone would show up for you too. It felt like she'd emotionally stepped back into a life that didn't include me. I asked why the contact name was fake. She said she didn't want me asking questions while she was already overwhelmed. That was it for me. I told her compassion doesn't justify deception, especially before marriage. The next morning, I canceled everything. Venue, vendors, honeymoon, lost thousands. Packed her things. She begged me not to make permanent decisions over temporary circumstances. For 3 days, I ignored her calls until I got a text from her phone, but it wasn't her. It was him. He asked if we could meet, said he felt responsible for the situation and wanted to clear the air. I almost blocked the number, but curiosity got the better of me. I drove to his apartment that night expecting tension, maybe even hostility. Instead, when he opened the door, he looked confused, like he didn't immediately recognize me. The apartment didn't look like someone deep in aggressive treatment lived there. No medical equipment, no medication stacks, no hospital paperwork, just a normal, clean space. We sat down awkwardly. Within minutes, he said something that made my stomach drop. I didn't know you two were still getting married this month. She told me the wedding was already postponed because you guys were having doubts. That was the first fracture. Then he added that he told her multiple times she didn't need to stay over, that he had neighbors and outpatient support. He said she insisted, said she told him I was fully supportive and barely home anyway. I felt like I was listening to a story about someone else's relationship, so I asked the question that had been sitting in my chest since I walked in. How often was she really there? He hesitated, then said, you mean since she moved in? I didn't even process the words at first. He clarified, said she'd been staying there most nights for over 2 months, not occasionally like she told me. Said she kept clothes there, toiletries, a laptop setup. I asked if anything romantic happened. He looked genuinely uncomfortable and said, she told me you two were basically separated. I thought you knew. I don't remember standing up, but suddenly I was at the door. I left without shaking his hand, without saying goodbye. I haven't confronted her yet. She keeps texting, asking why I met him behind her back and why I won't answer. Our families think I overreacted canceling the wedding over helping someone sick. None of them know what he told me. And now I'm sitting in the apartment we picked together, wedding gifts stacked by the wall, wondering if I didn't just cancel a wedding, but narrowly avoided marrying someone who was already living a completely different life behind my back.